Hi, I'm Rhea from Active Health Clinic, and today I wanted to talk to you about the concept of precautionary resting. And I know that sounds like a very odd statement, but I know that anyone with a chronic illness will know what pacing is. And if you didn't, you probably do know now because we have multiple videos on this on our YouTube channel. But one concept around this is the idea of forward planning. And sometimes forward planning can be a little bit daunting because we don't know how that works and every day changes. So the idea of forward planning is really important. That is the idea of being able to look ahead of time where your energy is going and therefore being able to look ahead of time where your energy is coming back in. So forward planning is an absolute ideal situation. If you can forward plan your days and your weeks, then I can almost guarantee that you're pacing or that you're doing your very, very best to pace, and that's exactly what we're aiming for. There are certain days that are a little bit more overwhelming or overloading, and there are certain circumstances that we don't quite know how forward planning will fit into the equation, and that's very, very normal. So one of the other concepts I look around there in regard to this is the idea of precautionary resting. So resting before the point of which you need it. So this can come in handy at any time. And this is something that it's not telling you exactly when or where, but it is telling you that if you know your energy is about to go somewhere, can you take a minute to pause right now and rest before the point of needing rest so that you can charge your battery, have that little bit more battery before going into that activity itself. So other concepts that may help with this are the traffic lights, the types of fatigue, or energies like a crappy phone battery, all of which are on our YouTube channel. But what I like to talk to people about is the concept of precautionary rest. If you can't necessarily forward plan for whatever reason, then have a look at where you can fit precautionary rest into your day. So again, resting before the point of which you need it. So if you've got a doctor's appointment and you're there 15 minutes early, instead of going into the clinic and sitting there for 15 minutes and sitting upright and, taking on all of this sensory input, could you sit in your car for 10 minutes, recharge in exactly the way that you need to, potentially put on some gentle music or elevate your feet or have a snack or have a drink and do these things before you go into your appointment? Because we know that by potentially the end of that appointment, you might be feeling fatigued and feeling to the point that you need a rest. But if you take into the idea of precautionary resting, we may avoid that at the end of the appointment, that you're able to come home and then rest and recharge in the way that you need to, alongside the fact that you've already rested and recharged prior to the activity itself. So it just sets up a bit of framework about better promoting the idea of pacing within our days when we feel like pacing isn't really an option. Where is the point in our day that we can rest as we can, or that we can take a minute to settle and be kind and compassionate and gentle, or where we can just find some space in our day. And resting doesn't always mean being horizontal in bed. Resting means anything that is restorative to you, anything that is generating energy or lessening symptoms in the way that you need it to. So I know that nature is very restorative to me, but also most of the time I'm walking in nature. So that takes a bit of physical energy, but I know that it's very restorative. So sometimes when I have that extra bit of time, I will make sure that I go for a quick walk in fresh air rather than sitting in a stuffy environment like doing lectures at uni. So I encourage you today to have a look at whether you could be doing better at your forward planning, or if you could look at introducing the idea of precautionary rest into your days to help better pace and better manage your days as a whole and better manage your symptoms. So I hope you found this helpful. There are so many videos on our YouTube channel, so I encourage you to subscribe and have a look. We are aiming at impacting 1 million lives by 2022 by making invisible illnesses visible, and we need your help for that journey. So stay tuned.